So, Kerr, what does your business do?
We're on Sydney Water's preferred contractors list, and we perform anywhere from main to meters, junctions, sewer encasements, sewer sidelines, stormwater infrastructure. That's predominantly our business.
And how many years when did you start the business? How long have you been doing it?
I think it was 2004.
So when you started the business, your frame of mind was, I'll just take any project, I'll take almost anyone as a customer, I'm just getting the work in.
Pretty much.
That was
That's exactly what I was thinking about. Because all I could think about, I've got staff and I've got to keep everyone working, and so that's exactly what it was.
Okay,
yes.
So when you took that approach, what problems did you run into years or a little way down the track? What type of things manifested in the business?
Well, it was instant. So we'll get to a job and then we'll already go through, we'll do 50, 60%, and then we're chasing that money. So we said to ourselves, well, that's where the problems all started. So we started bringing the progress of the payment forward, so that way we're always a little bit ahead of ourselves.
So what the problem was that the business was ploughing money into actually doing the work, and then there was this gap between the work and the payment.
That's correct.
And
yeah.
Then I believe there was quite a lot of energy, time being consumed in the business just chasing the money. Well, at what point did you decide then that had to be a change in how you were working from constantly chasing money to being actually ahead of the game?
Just before the GFC, I was starting to find that there was a bit of a slow up in payments, and people were struggling themselves because we're one of the first guys on the job, and if they're finding it difficult just to pay us to do the works that had to be done before the job had started.
How will they pay for the rest of it?
Bingo. So we then started to get progress payments. So I started at 10%.
What you're talking about then is you actually decided, I'm going to get some money up front before I even rock up.
Now I'm not funding their jobs anymore like I used to. So they're funding their own work for their job.
So, Kerr, you actually moved the business to a milestone payment model where you got a decent chunk of money up front first, then ran the business off the customer's money rather than doing the business off you spending the money to do the work and then chasing your payment afterwards.
Well, over time, Anthony, I got to find out exactly how much each job would cost and where I was at with each job. So take this job, for instance, we're being paid in total for the whole job. So we don't have to now send staff chasing that money to go and spend time collecting the money and so on. So we know where we stand with that job. The client knows where we stand as well. So we just do our work, get it all finalised, and then move on to the next site.
So your pricing model effectively is a screen to clients. Those who take it, engage you on those terms, you'll do the work.
Yep.
Those who don't, you give them a pass.
And every time we change that, I always find that we're back chasing the money policy.
A lot of people, I think, told you when you said, I just get 30% up front, 50% up front, a lot of people told you you couldn't do it. No one would take you on, no customer would buy that deal, but...
Actually, sales for our company have gone up 30%. So, and each year, on year, they're constantly going up. So whoever's saying that, and many people have told me that you've got no chance of getting any payment before we start. Well, I don't really want to deal with the people that don't want to pay, because in business, I want to build a relationship with my client so that they get the service, the quality, and also if they're happy with what I do, they'll keep on referring. All my business, 100% of my business is from referral.
You see, one of the things I say is chasing money falls into two bins. One is avoiding non-payment, and the other is chasing it when you haven't been paid. It seems to me that your business falls into the first one, where you avoid non-payment simply by constructing the payment terms that will serve your business, give you liquidity, and then simply finding the customers who will buy that particular payment structure. And you basically reverse engineer your business, but the starting point is the payment terms.
Exactly.
That's quite unique.
I know exactly where I stand with the client. I know I'm not going to get paid. I mean, there may be a variance in the contract. I make it very clear to them if there is, and I'll tell them exactly what they are. One would be probably rock, and they would know that that's a variation to the contract. But other than that, we keep it strict and clean. And before we start, we send out a quote to our clients. We have to make sure that they read our terms and conditions, they sign our contracts. So that is the number one process, and they meet our terms, they're happy with our terms. So then it gets to the stage where we've finished the job, we've got the certificates, And then we go to the next stage, which is payment. If we've got a payment schedule with them, which is not always, sometimes 100%, being if it's a bigger job.
Now, 10 years ago when they said, Care, you're finished, thanks for the certificates, love the work, you're going to have to dump 15 grand, we'll give you the rest, but we're going to have to knock 15 grand off the top. Response of the old Care, the younger Care, what would that have been?
Well, I would look for, as a commercial decision, I look to get as much money as possible. I was quite happy with that. I was really happy to.
Nowadays, if someone said, Care, don't care, can you take 20 grand off? Your attitude would be what?
Send them off to my friend Anthony, contractors debt recovery, but they would follow with the process. So I'd have to stick within my guidelines.
Before, you'd kind of take as much as you could handle, avoid a confrontation and move on, having lost quite a bit of money. Whereas today, you're actually saying, well, these are our contract terms, you agreed to them, I've done the work, and you're going to pay me as per the contract. And if they don't, you actually will follow some kind of legal process, dispute resolution process, to hold them accountable to payment.
100%. It's exactly what we do.
And what have the results been since you took that change of tack maybe a couple of years ago?
Well, we don't have any bad debtors anymore, so which is fantastic.
You actually employed extra people just to chase your debtors.
I used to have 3 people just chasing money. It's ridiculous. It was a joke.
God.
Yeah.
So now I believe the business cash flow positive, yeah?
Of course, yeah. Now knowing where I'm going, which direction I'm actually heading, not having additional 3 staff that were just collecting money that we were working hard for. So we don't have to worry about that anymore.
No, that expense is gone.
Gone.
And profitability as a percentage,
well,
any change?
30 to 40% up.
Up?
Yeah, but that's also because of bad debtors. We used to write off. We no longer write off bad debt. We collect it, we chase it all the way to the end.
That's an amazing summary there, mate, because what you're saying is that just by recovering your debtors, this is money you're legally entitled to.
Correct.
That's changed your profitability by 30 to 40%.
That's right, yes.
Just by not doing anything more than just collecting what's already owed to you.
That's correct.
Well, there's a lesson for all businesses.
Yeah. Well, you have to believe in yourself as well. If you believe that this is going to work, you have to follow through with it. And a lot of people said it won't work.
So if I were to summarise the AC Constructions experience, it's essentially this. What payment terms serve my business the best and my cash flow needs the best? I constructed a contractor agreement around those terms. I specifically went to find customers who would accept that agreement, and I enforce the agreement. Point 4. If they don't live up to it, I enforce it and recover under that agreement. And that, exactly I believe, has seen your business be basically cash flow positive.
Always.
And you're actually not working as many days a week and making more money, I believe.
Well, sometimes, I mean, yeah, look, we have now gone to a different level in our business. We don't want to be chasing anyone anymore. There's no point. We don't have, I used to have, several staff in the office just chasing money. That was their job, just to chase money. It was getting beyond the joke. Well, just easy.
I think the small business lesson here is you can segment customers for marketing purposes and other purposes, but what you're showing people is you can segment customers along payment purposes.
Correct. So many people,
and be profitable.
Yeah, so many people told me you can't do this. No one will pay you. And I just keep telling them, move out of the way and I'll show you how my business has been doing this for the past 5 years, and it will continue on doing this.
Okay, so Kev, I think the universal lessons that you've demonstrated here is that every business is free to decide initially what payment terms serve the business and then work backwards from there. If those are the payment terms that make us profitable, that give us good return for our effort, what type of job does that mean I have to do, and what type of customer does that mean I need to find? And if I can find the right customers that will accept those terms, the profits come from that, as opposed to I'll just do any work that comes my way. I think that's really the lesson that a lot of businesses could learn from what you've done.
That's exactly it. That's exactly right.
Lessons for everyone here, Care. Well done on the transformation, and thanks for joining us.
Yeah, thank you.